Hello.
This week's lesson is that heroes help unlikely people. Aaron, have you ever had a time when you had to help someone?
Yep. Most notably, the first thing that comes to mind is Pastor Stephen Blue.
Oh.
For Nifty Thrifty, we all did some silly costumes and hair and
yeah.
everything like that, right? But Stephen went the extra mile and had his hair all shaved up top. And needed a little bit of help with that. And I was like, yeah, because that sounds hilarious. And it was. But then towards the end of it, he needed some help around the back. And then the tears started coming down. It's like, what have I done? Will my children look at me the same? Will my wife look at me the same? Like, I doubt it. But it got hard, though, because in the back you had to be really careful and have like a certain line around the head.
Okay, yeah.
Harder than it looks.
You know, sometimes it's really easy to help people. We easily help people who help us back. We easily help people who are very easy to help. But sometimes it's not very easy to help people, is it?
True.
Right? Sometimes it's not very easy to help people we don't get along with or who make it kind of hard to help them. We are called by Jesus to help unlikely people. This means that we look for people who are lonely. We look for people who are overlooked. We look for people who are in need to help them, not just people who will help us back or who will give us something because we help them. Jesus is the hero of the Bible, and in the Bible we see Jesus help a lot of people. Now, sometimes the disciples and the people of Jesus' day did not really understand all the ways that he was helping people. Sometimes they would accuse him of helping people that they thought were undeserving. Sometimes they would accuse Jesus of helping people at the wrong time or in the incorrect manner. But we see countless times of Jesus helping unlikely people, and this convicts our hearts to see people not at how we maybe would want to see people, but how God sees people.
And that reminds me, in 1 Samuel 16, verse 7, it says, "For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart."
In our story today, we see Jesus help a centurion, a Roman centurion. Aaron, you went to Bible college, right? You have a master's in theology or something like that?
Yeah.
Yes? Do you know what a centurion is? Can you explain?
Of course, Krista, of course. Well, you see, a centurion was a Roman military. He was a commander of 100 men.
100?
That's the root word, C-E-N-T, cent, kind of century, 100, centurion, 100 men.
Ooh.
They were put in that position as a leader because they were powerful, loyal, really good lawyers, effective, strong. Maybe they had someone they knew who helped get them a promotion on the side. But again, they were put in that position because they were effective warriors and they were really powerful too.
Wow, and so because of this power and because of their cultural differences, this centurion is a very unlikely person who would even want Jesus' help, and it's a very unlikely person for Jesus to help. We see in Luke chapter 7 that Jesus has gone into the city of Capernaum, and as he goes into the city, there's a centurion who had heard that Jesus was coming, and he had a servant that he cared for deeply, and the servant was sick, he was dying. And so the centurion sent Jewish leaders to ask Jesus for help.
Well, now you might be thinking, didn't the Jewish people not really like the Roman military people, the centurions and so forth? And you're right, they probably typically didn't. So then why were the Jewish leaders in this example willing to go to Jesus and ask for help?
Well, it says it in the next verse. The Jewish people who come to Jesus say that this centurion is worthy of Jesus' help. The centurion, it says, had treated the Jewish people kindly, had even helped them to build the synagogue. So Jesus goes to help the centurion's servant. But on the way, the centurion sent friends, and this is what it says. The friend said, "Lord, do not trouble yourself, for I am not worthy to have you come under my roof. Therefore I did not presume to come to you. But say the word, and let my servant be healed. For I too am a man set under authority, with soldiers under me. And I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes. And to my servant, do this, and he does that." And when Jesus heard this, it says in Luke that he marveled. And he says that he has not seen anyone who had such great faith.
Whoa.
And as a result of the faith, without even being there in person, Jesus healed the servant of the centurion. Jesus is the hero of the Bible, and throughout the Gospels, we see him help lots of people. A lot of these people were not helped by anyone else. So the big question of this week is, who can you help? I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to encourage us to think about who we can help in our lives. Who maybe is lonely or afraid? Who maybe is not being helped by anyone else? Can you think of people like that?
Well, I already helped Pastor Steven, so you're going to have to help somebody else.
You might need to think of someone else.
Okay.
This week, our everyday hero is someone who helps people every single day. Take a look.
Well, hello everybody. This is Mary Ann Rankle coming to you from Sagewood at Daybreak. This is where I work, and we are a senior living community. It is just before 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, and yes, I'm going to work. That's one of the things that I have to sacrifice, is that I take my Sundays and I work Sunday afternoon and evening. It's not a normal shift that somebody would work, but because I want to go to church in the morning on Sundays, I said that I would work the afternoon shift. And so I work from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night. So, and this is something that our wonderful residents have said about us, that we are heroes. But we're just ordinary people, and what we do is we take care of our older generation. So anybody that's like 70 years and older, they live here. Some live independently, and they live in their own apartments and take care of themselves. And some live in assisted living, and they need help. So that's what we do. I'll tell you more when we get inside. I am sitting at my desk in the back. Sometimes I sit at the front and greet all the people that come in the front door where I work, and then sometimes I actually sit in the back because I've got some other responsibilities to do. So I take care of like all the billing that happens for the residents. So I take care of like making sure their statements are right and that they're getting billed properly and everything. And so that makes up a lot of my job. Other things that I do is when I'm at front desk, I greet residents, I help them out with anything, I take phone calls. It's really constantly busy up there. When I first started working here 5 years ago, I actually worked what's called the knock shift, and that's working from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. And that was hard, but I did it just because they needed somebody here and to be here at the building and watch the building, because we always have somebody at the desk 24 hours. And the reason for that is that we're here in case somebody needs help. So they can call us, they can press their emergency response buttons, and we're there to help them. So that's a lot of what we do here as a customer service representative. How does being a Christian impact my job? Well, it just means I'm on the spot all the time. Everybody's watching what I do and how I act. So I always need to just keep that always in the back of my mind. And the other question I was asked was, how do you see yourself fulfilling God's calling through your job for humanity in the kingdom mission? I just see that God has placed me here for a reason, and I remember when I first interviewed for this job, I was asked, why do I want to work in senior living? And I said, because I'm close to their age, and I truly am. I'm up there. I'm not, very young and everything like that, like some of our team members are. But I think I can relate to the residents a lot more, and I can have an impact on their lives because I am closer to their age and everything, and I can understand a lot. You got to have a lot of empathy in this job and understanding on how people feel, because sometimes sometimes people come up and all they want to do is talk, and they're there to listen. So that's about what I do, and I love my job. I love working with the residents here. They range from 67 years old up to 100 years old. We just had a lady that celebrated her 100th birthday, and she was so cute. She got all kinds of flowers and stuff from her family, and she goes, I don't want these in my room. She goes, put them downstairs where everybody else can enjoy them. So we've actually been enjoying her flowers here for the last week and everything. But that's it. Thanks for listening, and I love sharing this with you. And if you have any questions, and if you ever see me, just stop me and I'll talk to you later. Okay? Bye.
Thank you so much, Miss Marianne, for being a servant for Jesus and helping others. Kids, every week when we have these Everyday Hero videos, we are going to give you a challenge. In your parents' email, I've given you 3 templates where you could make a card or a letter for these Everyday Heroes. You could also use your own paper if you don't want to use my templates. That's totally fine. But you have an opportunity to be encouraging, to be thankful. You can take those templates or take your own paper and make a card or make a letter to thank Miss Marianne and the people who work with her at that retirement community. You can send your cards and letters to the address on the screen.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I'm totally gonna thank Miss Mary, but I thought of a lot more people that I wanted to thank. Can I thank
really?
more, or am I only supposed to thank just her?
Absolutely, wouldn't that be great? So definitely we want to thank our Everyday Hero of the Week, but if you have other people in your life who you are thinking of that help other people and you want to be an encouragement to them, you want to show your appreciation to them, you could print out a ton of those templates, or you could make a ton of cards and mail them out and be encouraging. Every week as we have our Everyday Heroes talk about how they are heroes for Jesus in their jobs, you are going to have an opportunity to make a card or make a letter to be encouraging. Think of how encouraging we can be to countless people in our Salt Lake Valley and maybe beyond throughout this summer. I'm going to challenge you to do that this week and mail that this week so that we can be encouraging and a light in our community, showing that we appreciate how people are being heroes for Jesus.
I'm gonna need a lot of crayons.